Benki, let me loop you into this particular matter. And President Uhuru Kenyatta has a political partner on board, and that has helped settle or bring in some sense of political sanity. But it appears that the war on graft is literally appears to be not heading in the right direction, despite having Raila on board, who was the whistleblower previously between 2013 and 2017 during the first-term administration of President Uhuru Kenyatta. What is the different approach, test, and dynamism that Raila Odinga can bring on board to sustain the continuous efforts by investigative agencies and help President Uhuru Kenyatta attain a legacy where he wants to end corruption or the evil in the country before 2022?
The only different approach that Raila Odinga could bring to this fight is to look for different people. We have tested his mind. We have seen his mind. We have known him for many years. He has fought for the increase in democratization space in this country alongside people like Akina Matiba, and that's his biggest contribution to this nation. If you expect Raila Odinga to have ideas on how we are going to fight corruption, I think you have lost it. He has no idea, he wouldn't know. But we give him credit for what he knows, we clap for him for what he has done, and we acknowledge his contribution to this nation. It's immense. But let us not expect any new idea from him on how to fight corruption. I repeat again, change will come with our generation. If those people are going to look for people to fight corruption, they have to look for it elsewhere. And I can give you examples. For a long time, it was almost an impossible thing. If you needed a driving license, you know how long you used to queue. Then they looped in young people. Today, you can print out a driving license from the comfort of your bedroom. If you have a printer, you can renew your driving license at any hour of day and night. And this was all brought about by young people. And by the way, all that money goes straight into the account of KRA. Whether they'll steal it from there is another question. But all I'm trying to say, when you look at the parking menace that we used to have in Nairobi, where city council officials used to have their separate book where they would come and even issue tickets, then my generation came, and there was a better way of paying for parking where you pay online. As to whether that money will be stolen on the other end is a question for another day. But what I'm trying to say is that when my generation kicks in, we have a different way, we have a different approach, and we do things differently. I wish the president was listening on this, and I wish his people would listen keenly. If I beg to give advice, which advice they may take or may not take, next year or this year around June, July, when we are doing pre-qualification for tenders, let us not do pre-qualification for suppliers. Let us do pre-qualification of manufacturers. Okay. So that in this nation, for example, DOD is buying a lot of cooking oil. But cooking oil at DOD is being supplied by third, fourth, fifth people. I mean, DOD is buying a lot of sausages. But before, and mind you, these sausages are coming from Farmer's Choice. But they are being brought by a third, fourth person. One sausage that would have cost you 20, 30 shillings buying raw is costing DOD about 70, 80, 100 shillings. If we do pre-qualification of manufacturers so that the government comes and inspects your manufacturing plant and all, what will happen is that these greedy brokers and middlemen will change from being brokers and middlemen to having established factories. That's how we shall grow manufacturing. Because you want to come and supply the government with boots. The government tells her, show us your factory. This idea of a man going and buying 20 million boots in China and bringing them here to be given to a military will come to an end. And that guy will have no choice but to go to industrial area or wherever, create a factory for manufacturing boots, and then the government will come and pre-qualify that manufacturer so that this manufacturer becomes the supplier of those boots. If we do that, I see us creating 1 million jobs in a year. That is realizable. It can be done. I mean, there are so many government places, even Utalii colleges, that are buying things like toothpicks. It's a shameful thing that we export bamboo and import toothpicks from China. If you see the toothpick making machine on YouTube, you'll be amazed. It's a small thing that you do on the table, like you do chips like this, and packing into small things. But we are importing toothpicks. Shameful thing. So if we start pre-qualifying manufacturers and not suppliers, if we start saying that for you to do government business with, okay, I agree there are things we may not be able to manufacture right now, but for everything that Kenya, I mean, you go to the office of a governor, for example, the table is This is the governor of, say, whatever, Pokot. I mean, the table is from China, the chair is from Turkey, the suit is from Italy, the tie is from Germany, the wristwatch is from Italy. Is this a governor? Which country, which governor, from which country are you? But if we get to a position where we even have laws that ban some of these things that we can manufacture locally from being imported, we shall fight corruption. But I strongly suggest that moving forward, pre-qualification of tenders, pre-qualification of suppliers must and should be done to manufacturers.
Wow.
So that if it's police uniform, you want to supply us with police uniform, yeah, just show us where you are knitting them from. You want to see 300-400 young people stitching them. We will give you the tender.
Okay.
But if these things are being done in China, then we are creating employment in the wrong place.
Okay.
Well, that might be as well at all, because then again, we've seen the level of capacity that we have within the country. But then again, good move. And we look forward to see this streamlined with the Big Four agenda's question on manufacturing. But aside from that, let's just loop in Mheshimiwa. And you brought aboard a very pertinent point that probably we need to get our politics right as it stands. And Ayub has highlighted that and it's not just Ayub, it's basically what we see today. At least we are able to enjoy some level of peace thanks to the handshake. And this has brought aboard, political sanity. But is that really good enough for us to deal with the issues that we have? Because we saw with what was there during the Grand Coalition, it came, of course, brought some level of sanity. Of course, it went. Then here today, we got back to probably where we'll be in terms of, not getting that peaceful or enjoying that peaceful coexistence within the country. So how certain are we that this level of political sanity brought by the handshake is going to last us, in years to come, and also address the issues that we are facing today? Or better yet, having been part of the government, having been part of this, and still there, what do you suppose would be the right way or the right channel to address the question of politics in the country and ensuring that we get it right?
You see, when you want to, the handshake is essentially supposed to be a way of accommodating the other side. And the other side is supposed to be an ideological divide. This other side believes in certain things. That's why you create a grand coalition.
Right.
But other than personal self-actualization, what is it in terms of policies and ideologies, economic, social, political, whatever it is that you can identify with Raila?
Right.
That you don't identify with Uhuru. And now you're trying to merge the two. You're saying, okay, we'll get these things, you see? Yeah. I mean, coalitions all over the world and handshakes are there, but you have, for example, Christian Democrats who are conservatives, and then bringing in the Greens, or bringing in the Social Democrats who are basically labor-based, and now you have to, have a kind of a meshing of that. You take some of their policies on board. Ours is just personalities. It's nothing that divides. Whatever Raila says about how he's going to fix this country is exactly what Uhuru says, what Ruto says, what I say myself, what everybody else says. Right. Now, the chance now for Uhuru to bring about a serious change is pick some of those solid ideological centers that do believe in something serious, not just politics. If I were him and I was Uhuru, I would walk out of my way and accommodate somebody like David Ndii.
Such a brain.
Yes, yes. Bring on board David Ndii and say, okay, David, now you're the Minister for Finance, or you're the Minister for Industrialization. How do you deal with it?
Right.
David is not looking for money. David has ideas he wants to implement in this country, which is social ideas. You get my point? And then look for people like that. You really want to deal with corruption? Look at people who have been always in the forefront in the corruption, like, a good number of us, a few of us, and say, now you be there at the anti-corruption place, and you have a free hand, come to me, whatever you did, but end corruption here. If I'm given that mandate tomorrow myself, and I have that, what you call direct link with the president, he's a personal friend.
Yeah.
We've been together in parliament. I mean, he was there as a deputy prime minister, and we're very close. So we know one another. I can walk into his office and ask him for this. Look, I need this and this to fix the thing. You can rest assured we will fix it, and like yesterday, we'll fix it.
Right.
We right now have what you call building bridges. Look at the people who are in the building bridges. Go through them and find out how many of them have taken public assets. and who are enjoying that.
Almost all of them.
How many of them have, they maneuvered their way during Moi's time, during Kibaki's time, and literally were always Ajib, any government in power.
Right.
Very close to any government in power.
Adversely mentioned in TJRC also.
Adversely mentioned in TJRC, adversely mentioned in the Ndungu report. They're all there. So when you bring those and you just basically recycle the whole, I actually have my doubts that the philosophical
Aspect.
there's a philosophical underpinning or foundation that informed these new efforts, this new integration of the country and bringing it together and dealing with some serious ills. Is not informed by what we see right now at the forefront.
Okay.
Maybe it's other things that are consequential, like the referendum, like you changing the piece of the law. The other things.
Again, to
It's
accommodate
power dynamics that basically dictates that people should come very close together. And we are very close together now in the country.
True.
But the real issues that we've been talking about, somebody put in an article the other day and said you literally have to do, I don't know how many thousand houses every day for you to meet the target on housing. For the legacy, the 4 pillars.
Which is so
It's impossible.
as it
It's
stands,
impossible.
yeah.
It doesn't stand. I mean, why do you even talk about? Why do you talk about
Housing, affordable housing.
affordable housing?
Yeah.
It's
Technically lying to the
No. You see, I was watching on right now. I watched on the social media. The vice president and the deputy president and the president somewhere. And the deputy president is saying we're going to have a stadium here in 3 months' time.
Yeah, that was funny.
We'll have a stadium in 4 months'
boo.
time. We'll have a stadium. And it's a joke.
A huge one.
Even before the other ones were realized.
Yeah. And then, of course, the other bit was that we will grow this economy. I actually have my problems with anybody who uses his hands when he has to do it. You know what I mean, eh?
Well
when you really want to, and you say, we will do this, we will do that, you're seeking strength from that, what do you call sign language. You know what I mean? But the reality of the matter is, in a very soft language, say, we will do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. And for God's sake, walk the talk. You see what I mean? We don't have that. We've never
Why
grown.
don't we pinpoint some of these things early
We've
enough?
never-
Because how many years down the line is when we're now pulling that joke? Do we also take time to...
It's conmanship. It's serious conmanship. And we are courting disaster in this country. It might not happen 5 years, maybe 10 years or 15 years down the line. Some of us might not be around here, but this country is going to have a serious, serious problem.